Away from that, President William Ruto has emphasized the urgent need for measures to address the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Speaking at a press conference in Nairobi after meeting with foreign ambassadors, he highlighted the agreement reached during Saturday's meeting in Dar es Salaam between the East African Community and the Southern Africa Development Community to initiate talks between the DRC government and M23 fighters. Additionally, another meeting is anticipated between the DRC and Rwanda to further address the crisis. Ruto reiterated that dialogue is the only viable solution to end the violence. Bushebi Jr. tells us more.
Leaders from Eastern and Southern Africa called for an immediate ceasefire in Eastern Congo, where rebels are threatening to overthrow the Congolese government. Rwandan-backed M23 rebels have taken over towns near Congo's capital, putting the country's president at odds with Rwandan officials and other leaders. A summit of African leaders to address the crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo has directed army chiefs to meet within 5 days and provide technical direction on an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. The meeting, which came to a close in Tanzania on Saturday, brought together the leaders of the 8-nation East African Community and 16-member Southern African Development Community. The number of African leaders who attended the summit included key players Rwanda's President Paul Kagame, who turned up in person, while the DRC President Felix Tshisekedi joined by a video link. Getting them into a room together was always going to prove difficult, but leaders there also from Zimbabwe, Somalia, Uganda, Zambia, and Kenya's President William Ruto were in attendance. And let's take a listen to what President of Kenya, William Ruto, said.
We stand together to call on all parties to actualize the ceasefire, and specifically on the M23 to hold further advancement and the armed forces of DRC to cease all retaliatory measures.
The DRC wants sanctions on Rwanda and the withdrawal of troops, but Rwanda denies its forces are supporting M23. It claims it's defending the threat on its own border. The summit has now concluded with a call for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire within 5 days. African leaders saying army chiefs will meet to arrange this. The DRC, as you can see on this map, has many borders, including borders with Tanzania, Angola, the Central African Republic, and to the north, South Sudan. The UN has already raised concerns about the humanitarian situation. Take a listen to the Secretary General Antonio Guterres' address.
We have countless reports of human rights abuses, including sexual and gender-based violence, forced recruitment, and the disruption of life-saving aid. The humanitarian situation in and around Goma is perilous.
That call for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire within 5 days is certainly a fragile glimpse of a resolution. It is, though, a very short time frame, and while that was the summit's conclusion on the ground, we know that the M23 group is advancing, marching south to other potential flashpoints. President Ruto on Monday later maintained that Kenya remains a committed partner in ensuring regional and international peace and security is achieved.
Having two concurrent processes running parallel creates unnecessary competition, creates avenues for forum shopping, and many other things that undermine the ultimate goal of these processes. So we agreed that these processes should be merged into one.
In an annual address to heads of mission and international organizations, Ruto stated that the escalating wars in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo shall be Kenya's focus until stability is effected.
We also agreed that we should expand the space for facilitators, so that instead of having one facilitator
we will have 3 facilitators, and we are in consultation between me and my co-chair on identifying the additional facilitators so that we can provide a more robust mechanism and energize the whole process of mediation in the DRC.
He noted that agreements made in the merged Nairobi and Luanda processes, an EAC-led regional peace initiative aimed at resolving the conflict in the region, should be honored.
And number 3 is to focus on both intra-Congolese dialogue amongst the parties in the DRC and also in the dialogue between DRC and its neighbors, more particularly with Rwanda.
Ushabi Junior, Newsroom, Maisha TV.